Hi, I'm Stuart and I'm here to do a review on this little baby. This is the GBC Bindmate. Now this is a pretty good entry-level binding machine for you to use at home or in your office. It's ideal if you have any size of presentation, but probably more likely to be a slightly smaller one, though if you wanted to do a bigger one it can handle up to 14 mils, which is pretty big when it comes to these combs. Now I say entry level because it's at the lower end of the pricing scale of these products, and we've had a little practice with it and a little play, and I have to say I quite like it. Now, as you can see, for a binding machine it's quite small, and I think that's quite good because it's not a big clunking piece of kit that's, you know, once you've got where you're going to put it. This one, you can absolutely stack it up, put it in a cupboard, stick it straight to the side, and it's not going to take up too much room, which I think is quite useful, especially when space is a premium. Now, the second thing is, it's pretty light. They say it's got a carry handle. Well, quite honestly, I don't know where you're likely to be carrying it because, you know, once you've got these things at home or in your office, that's where they stay. But if you did need to carry it, it isn't heavy at all. It's like a glorified hole punch, really, because what this machine does is it will cut holes into your paper, and it will then enable you to bind them up using these combs. Now, let me show you how it works. Firstly, it's got this little spot here and this little kind of rectangle shape. Now the difference is, if you want to put a spot here, then what it will do is when you operate the lever, it will cut through and make 4 hole punches, which is a bit like, you know, you could put it into a lever arch file, you could put it into a ring binder, you could put it into a diary. One of the things that we do is we take diaries, A4 diaries, we cut off the spine, and then we just use this machine with 4 holes to put into diaries or into presenters, but that's what we do. So you can see there it's made 4 holes. Now that's because the setting is currently pushed to the left hand side, and it's on the spot. Now if I turn it the other way, what it will do, and I push it in. Now this guide here is keeping it at A4, so there's really not a lot I can do wrong, really. And when you push the paper in, you can feel it kind of nice and square against the back of the machine. When you push the handle forward, you're going to cut and make the 4 holes. Now, all these little clippings are kept inside this little tray at the back. It's a bit like the crumb catcher on a dual-lit toaster. So the idea is that when you've collected enough crumbs, you pull out the thing, and then you take that and dispose of it in the bin. Now, I'm going to show you how to use this now. So I'm going to put that to one side, and here's my presentation. Now, the first part of the presentation is you're going to have your documents, which is going to be on A4 paper. It can be a heavy paper, it can be a glossy paper. It doesn't matter what kind of paper it is, because this machine will cut it. The only thing that will depend is how many sheets of paper you want to put into the machine at one time. The thinner the paper, the more it can cut. The heavier the paper, the fewer you'll have to do at one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off. Let me see how many pages. We found the problem with this is, because it's a small machine and used for home, you can't put so many sheets of paper in. And when I say many sheets, I'm talking about, you know, I don't know, 30 or 40 sheets at a time. I'm going to put in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to try with 8 sheets of paper. Might even be a bit more. Now that's fitting in. That's fitting in, and I'm going to push and make sure it goes nice and square to this little guider. And then I'm going to bring this down. Blimey, alright, that was hard work. Right, now, that is why you probably don't want to put so many sheets of paper in. And if you were going to have done this at home or in your office, you probably want to take a little bit more care and use less sheets. You saw I used a lot. When I say a lot, I mean it is an entry-level machine, so your expectation is probably going to be too much. But you can see it's kept a very nice straight line from the edge of the paper to where the holes are, so that's important. Now, I'm going to be using this in conjunction with one of these clear plastic covers. Now these clear plastic covers are widely available in the catalogue, and they're very good for putting on the front for two reasons. Firstly, they give it a nice glossy front, and secondly, they kind of pad out the document, which is kind of a bit useful. It's a bit of a, it makes the document look like there's more going on than, whoopsie-daisy, one of the lightings has gone. So let's go on. So there you can see the clear plastic light has just had a, that's been added. Right, can we get that light back on? Let's get that light on. And this is a cover. This is a leather bound cover, and you can see that it's got this kind of leather grainy effect. And with this leather grainy effect, that's why it's called, it isn't leather, it is actually only paper, but that's why it's called this leather grain effect. So I don't know whether you can see that. So it's got, it's on two sides, the leather grain effect's on the front, so I'm going to just cover that. Now, if you were to, that would go at the front like this. So what we have is we have our document, we've got our clear plastic cover, we have our leather grain effect that we could have printed on that. We could put, you know, we could just, I mean, this is, you know, we could put, we could print that over here, because you'd have printed that through your printer, and then we'd have the presentation on the inside going through. Now, the next thing you need to decide is we need to decide about the combs. Now, depending on the size of the document, depends on the size of the comb that you use. So if you've got a lot of paper, you're going to need a bigger comb. These combs all come in different colours and they all come in different sizes. They come in 6mm, 8mm, 10mm, 12mm, 14mm, 20mm. They come in huge, big sizes. But the likelihood is the most popular ones that we ever seem to use are really between 6 and 8mm, because it's normally a dozen sheets of paper in it, or 15. There's nothing, you know, the documents that we're producing are not that thick. So what do you do with the comb is, and this is the bit that people sometimes get a bit stuck with, and I'm going to use this blue one, why not? You put the comb into the machine, and as you'll see, this comb's got these like little teeth here. Now that's important, because these teeth are going to be what's going to stretch open the comb, because you can see that the comb is like, it's kind of got these teeth. So you put the comb into the machine, and then you slide it to the right, and then you pull it across. So let's just get that in like that. Now, if you get it wrong, you'll know you've got it wrong. In fact, I'm going to turn this around so it's a bit easier to see. If you get it wrong, you'll know because it'll open the wrong way, like exactly like that. And you can see that I'm opening the combs underneath. So what I need to do is I need to turn it over. That's all I need to do, and then it should work. And then, with any luck, if I get that little baby in and open it like that, they'll open up. Now, the next thing to point out is I can't keep my hand holding it like that. So there's this little lock here. So you put that down and there's a lock, which is clever because now I've got the space to get at it. In fact, I'm going to open it up a little bit more, so I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit further and hold it in that position. Now I've got all the time in the world I need to lay down my document, which has been prepared before, and I'm going to just feed it over the teeth mark like this. Oh. Sometimes you can buy music books, and because I've got a piano at home and I play the piano, and sometimes you can get sheet music and they come with these ring bind things like this, and they're good because you can open them and you can see the whole page. Now if you get a book at home and you use it and it's bound permanently, they sometimes just keep shutting on you, which is really irritating. So what you can do is, if you're able to, and you can get the spine cut off, and you use one of these comb binding machines, you can just kind of carefully and slowly cut and punch each sheet of paper, and then put it into an appropriate sized comb, and then it's going to be really easy for you to do and read without it shutting on you every time you look at it. Right, so there you've seen I've just dropped the combs on, and then you just pull the thing off, and there is the finished document. Now the document is finished. There are all my bits coming out the tray after my thing. The other thing to just point out is it does sit on rubber feet as well, which is kind of a useful little thing because it means it's not going to scratch the surface of any nice desk. So I'm quite happy to just continue to play with it like that. Overall, I think it's a really good little piece of equipment because it's light. It's light and it can sit in the cupboard. It's not going to take up too much space, and these things tend to get used once and then you kind of go back to them. So if you do want to get one of these, I think it's quite a good machine. And secondly, it's got all the little pictures here on the front which are reminding you what to do and how it works. If you have any questions or any feedback on this product that you'd like to know, please just fill in the box below on the website, and I hope you have good luck with it. This is Stuart from Office Mojo. See you soon.